Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. It's your welcome in the Wolf Tent. I'm your werewolf. We're talking about sex appeal in all forms of media. Since no one can shut up about the She-Hulk show or any other shows that either have sex appeal or have a very mandative, if that even a word, mandative. Uh, wow, I lose my train of thought there. They seem to have this outright guilt over sex appeal, having sex appeal in their show, or going out of their way to remove sex appeal out of their show. Will we even be talking about shows that have that? Old shows, even. I'm here with the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings, YouTube viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 here, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Space Fleet Wolf Squadron. And today we are having a stream talking about sex appeal. And this is somewhat of a continuation on the femininity stream a while back, but we might as well bring up some topics from there. But then again, we are also talking about everything else that Wolf said, talking about sex appeal and pretty much everything else that's been shunned upon by new Hollywood.
I'm with the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in tonight's live stream. And yeah, since sex appeal is the main point of discussion, it was going to be interesting how we talk about like how sex appeal was utilized and viewed back then, and comparing them to how it is viewed now, especially with entertainment being in control by individuals who who don't really like know like when to let their hairs down and have a stick that is continually that remains stuck in their butts.
We have the lovely Leia Valor, Leia Plus Size.
Good evening, everybody. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Lady of Valor. And I think we're going to have some fun tonight with this topic. But also, we're going to dismiss the myths that are going around about sex appeal and why it is really not a taboo and it doesn't hurt. But we want to, like Wolf, our commander said, it seems to be lately that the certain powers that be feel that it's a taboo and awful thing to bring in. So hopefully we're going to dismiss a lot of myths with that. So, and have some fun as well. So hope you enjoy the show.
Oh, you know certainly who really is gonna have the most fun with this. That being, in case if any of you are curious, him.
Yep, it's this. Yep,
You know how he is though.
our
Yes.
our lovely commander himself. But however, as Leia said, so we're gonna be having fun. But in this discussion, as she eloquently put it, we're going to debunk the myths surrounding sex appeal.
That's right.
Last and certainly not least, we have the Bear of the North, Eloise Dotto.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? And I expect a lot of memes
I won't
showing
disappoint.
up.
I aim to please.
I
We
thought
have
you
Child
said
of
it
Fire in
wasn't.
the chat.
I thought you said it wasn't your job to satisfy.
Hey, you guys are the exceptions.
Alrighty then.
Child of Flower says the paraphrase a classic tale: sexy men good, sexy women bad. I guess that's an additional 12 minutes on the timer. I got news for you. That means you're late and gay. Evening, Dark Stranger. Well, Maury, hello. Isn't a little weird people fight over bodies like smack talking boobs, butts, and anything that gets stared at and it lives rent free in someone's head like an intrusive thought? I mean, hi. Got the FS Snake with us in the chat.
So
12E.
the
New to our chat, or probably just old, haven't been visiting in a while, we have Draco Nightmare.
hello, Draco,
What's up?
Hello.
or is it Draco?
Draco. Excuse me. Without further ado, who guys want to you guys want me to lead this one?
Yeah, you can. You can. I can speak for myself, but if you want to start it off, and we'll just follow.
I'm just missing a time where we just got things like this or this. This is a cosplay, but still, like remember back way back when we had things just jumping out at us like this, in such a manner. You know, you got your strong woman, you got your you got your anime women, you even got your Filipino and your yellow fevers. But the topic today is She-Hulk. Now, I have not watched that show at all. Of course, you guys know I outright refuse to watch that show. But it seems like they're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to have this whole feminist talking point here and there, while at the same time they also want to have her look like she does in many a comic book cover or even the
Or like
John
what you're
Byrne.
seeing right now, what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, yeah. I remember in the trailer they had her walking out in that sparkling dress, and she's doing a nice little pose here and there. She's basically doing the Lady Dimitrescu pose. And I'm sitting here thinking like y'all really want to have it both ways, don't you? You guys really want to try to appeal to the fans by having her that showcasing her feminine figure accentuated like that. While at the same time, you get that one clip that everybody's been really reading about
Oh
her
God,
talking about
yeah.
being catcalled and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here thinking um this is not She-Hulk. She-Hulk ain't even her regular her excuse me.
Even when she's Jennifer Walters, she doesn't even act like that. Like when
The
she's just plain old Jennifer Walters, instead of just being She Hulk, which she learned to embrace because that was actually from her confidence. That's She Hulk is everything that she aspired to be, and that's why she embraced that. But
the
Banner, oh, sorry,
no, for it. No, finish. Go ahead and finish. Final. I
yeah,
thought you were done. Go ahead.
but Banner, on the other hand, he wishes to fix Jennifer back to her normal self, out of fear that she would actually start to become the monster that she might actually become, because that's exactly what Banner himself has gone through. That's the monster that dwells within him. Which, even though, despite from that, this basically comes from different circumstances on why those two Hulks are so vastly different. Banner became the Hulk because that all came from his trauma after so much abuse from his father and witnessing the death of his mother right in front of him by his father, but then started creating an imaginary friend for him, which worked all the way up to his college life. But on the downside, his imaginary friend's advice is often more destructive. Why? Because that's part of his trauma. But then later, when he was working to be part of this gamma program, this I think it was a G bomb program, where they would be testing out a gamma bomb. But then suddenly, a kid suddenly decided to drive into the test field and play his harmonica. Bruce suddenly decided to tell one of his friends to, or no, one of his colleagues to stop the countdown to stop the bomb. But he managed to get out. He did manage to do that, but his colleague turned out to be a Russian spy who set off the bomb anyway, because apparently anything else in government information incomplete without a drama from the frickin' Russians. But so then that's when he was exposed to gamma radiation, which is really harmful, but yet somehow Banner survived. But in the process was also born of the monster. His imaginary friend became its own being and became a monster. So then became the monster that dwells within him that he cannot control. So then and it's this monster who wants to just be left alone. Jennifer Walters, on the other hand, why is she suddenly confident and suddenly more intelligent than Bruce's monstrous side? It's because she is everything that she aspires to be. She's still very feminine and confident within herself and brings confidence to those around her. In fact, even knows much with more laws, which is why she's now a lawyer. And there she is, what you see her as right now, what you see right in front of her.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, were you done? Fine. I didn't want to step over you.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, as Final so eloquently put it, I'm not going to piggyback on it. He pretty much gave you the backstory. If you are watching She-Hulk, the She-Hulk you're seeing on Disney is not the Jennifer Walters of the comic. It's not the Jennifer Walters of the comic. The show is not. That's not who she is. She. Do you guys hear me?
We hear you clear.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I faded out. Okay. Let me start off again. The Jennifer Walters that you're seeing on the Disney Plus show is not Jennifer Walters, as Final so eloquently put it. When she becomes She-Hulk, she is confident, she's sassy, she's a sexy woman, and she embraces it. She doesn't run away from it for the very reasons that Final just explained. The writers on that show, who are idiots, and I call them that because they're not writers, have taken this character, and like every other female Marvel character or superhero DC character in this genre, have taken this character to use as a mouthpiece for their own ridiculous, sorry, political agenda. They themselves, when she did that ridiculous speech, I'm not watching the show. So I'm not watching the show. I have no plans to watch the show. I feel no need to watch the show because I know what that show is trying to project and use her as a mouthpiece for. The writers on it don't get her at all. What they are doing is, again, using her for politics and pushing their own insecurities. They are insecure, unhappy women in themselves and want to take their anger of being unhappy out on fans because they themselves are unhappy. And I never read the comic book. I know who she was, but I will be honest, I wasn't familiar with it. But I know she was extremely popular, and for a while she had a cartoon in the '90s that was fun, and that's how I know how she is. She is not a negative image of it. She's not about and I kind of felt that way. They did it. They did the same thing with Wonder Woman a bit over at DC. I felt that the Wonder Woman movies, they thought more of Wonder Woman as um this what's the word? It's so fine that Amazon warrior than a woman who is about, yes, she's powerful and strong, but not always about, kicking a guy in the nuts through the window. So I think that's another character I think they've misinterpreted.
Mm-hmm.
But the one reason that I am rejecting the She-Hulk is because this is not She-Hulk. She-Hulk is exactly as Fawn explained. When she becomes She-Hulk, she stays that way because she likes what she is. She embraces it, and she embraces the attention. For her, it's not because she's better than him, which the show tries to give you, but that's a lie. It's because she has embraced that part of her, and it makes her more confident. It makes her more sassy. She's fun. She's sexy. She has a great sense of humor. She's nothing what that show presents. The show is trying to say that sexy is a no. Sexy is something to be angry about, not to fully embrace. And that's that's why I am rejecting the show, because that's not what she is. And for those people, mostly empty-headed normies, not anybody here, but mostly normies, are just sitting there like zombies, sucking this all in, thinking that this is what she is, and thinking, oh, this show is
Nigga.
thinking this show is exciting and fun, but you're being told a lie. You are being told and fed a lie. You're not getting the woman that she is. And they're missing that point. And they're spreading lies. And they're spreading lies from writers who are unhappy, who are insecure, who have low self-esteem, and want to put the blame on men when all of that comes from their own selves and their own choices that they made in their life. She-Hulk has nothing to do with it.
That actually brought me an idea just thinking about this, because I was just playing Knights of the Old Republic when this is happening because yeah, I'm now already starting to get into the Star Wars extended universe, and it's right when you're on Dantooine. It's this conflict between two separate families, and it's after a man's son got killed, but then kidnaps another man's son within um within the back corners
I
of his
remember that.
yeah, but
The
then
Romeo
said
and Juliet storyline.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
that type of storyline. But yet, as this conflict ends, and yet suddenly the two run away, and yet they start yelling at each other. You have other options. Yet I literally said my character for them to just both won't you both of you just shut up? Even though he's a Jedi, yeah. Even though they just yeah, there is no emotion, there is peace. I know that's part of the Jedi code. But this is at the moment I was like, oh my god, these two are still very stubborn. I imagine if you still have those results, either question from that moment, you would still get the same results. And it's just
Exactly.
because they're so stubborn, they hate each other and there's so much, but yet they don't even want to listen to even their children who yet even want to see their differences because they think adults are the more wisest than children, despite the fact that even though these two love each other, it's already going so dangerous.
Exactly. And then again, like I was saying with Wonder Woman, when I look back on the two Gal Gadot films, or even that first Wonder Woman, I do feel like the writers were focusing on Amazon warrior and not the woman of Wonder Woman. They tried to take her and
They
use
just make her
her.
Xena Warrior Princess, basically, and that's not Wonder
She
Woman.
wishes she
Right,
was Xena Warrior Princess.
right,
Even
exactly.
Xena would not even act like that. Xena is all the sex appeal that Wonder Woman lacks in that movie. They were trying their damnness to not really focus any part of her body or any shape or form to make her look visually appealing. Aside from the battle outfit that she's wearing, everybody had a bitch fit over Zack Snyder insinuating her femininity in the Justice League movie, or rather the one movie where Josh Whedon had to finish, where it was very accentuated.
Yeah, is they try to. It's like exactly what you said. They try to suck out the woman and make her all the warrior. If you look at in all the films, even with, and I'm going to go there, even with the women on Themyscira, make them more masculine type, make them more masculine looking, and Amazons were not. They were warriors, but they're not masculine. And I'm old school here, but I do remember the Linda Carter show when Linda Carter first came on as Wonder Woman, and Linda
Actually,
Carter
the
was.
actually for Amazons, they weren't that good looking. They actually were masculine looking, but like the mythology of the Amazon, like there's a historically accurate Amazon, which is they weren't that good looking. They were actually kind of masculine women, but
Yeah,
they
we
were
were looking
still
at
women.
romanticized versions of them.
Yeah, like the mythology of it, the mythology that survived through the Romans, like it was the femininity, like the femininity of a female warrior, like
Was
Yeah,
not
that's what
even
I
that.
was.
present.
But she had the true. But what she had though, there was still the whole idea of her was to show the strength in the femininity, the strength of the beauty of women as a strength as a whole,
Yep.
that I felt the movie sucked
Yeah,
out and
I
took
think
it
that's what
sucked that out.
they're trying to do is they're trying to so the historically going with the historical version of the Amazon rather than the mythology, which the mythology more or less draws people in. There there's like the actual Amazons. There's nothing. Well, they were raiders essentially. Like there's nothing to aspire there. But with like
Hmm.
Hmm.
the mythology, the stuff that the Romans like perceived of them, that's more aspirational than what the actual Amazons were.
And going off topic, this is even the same thing what they did with Superman. They just go with They just go. They don't even. They take out the man, and they just focus on his powers because yes, power equals corruption. Yes, unless if you have control over it.
Also,
Right.
power is neither good. It's neither good nor evil. It's how one wields power when it's either bestowed upon them or un, or any other source of how they attain it.
Exactly, because I also do want to bring up an example here is between the Jedi Code and the Sith Code from how they use their Force powers. I can pretty much remember the Jedi Code verbatim after listening to it so much. There is no emotion. Here's the Jedi Code. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is. Dang it! I thought I could remember the code verbatim. Hold on. Code of.
Yeah, feminists. What you're thinking? Yeah, feminists for years have tried to turn Wonder Woman into this feminist icon, but Wonder Woman was never about being a feminist. She was about she was about more than that. Oh, you put one of the
Okay.
Actually, Wonder Woman, there kind of was, but it was more like this guy who was into bondage and stuff like that.
Marston.
Yeah,
Yeah, Marston. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
Marston.
aware of his story. Yeah.
yeah, because he was in a polyamorous relationship with two women.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was.
But I'm just saying, over the years, when we got into the 70s and we had the feminist movement, they sort of distorted her mythology to turn her again into a feminist icon. But it
But
wasn't always
I
so.
think it kind of makes sense why they're drawn to Wonder Woman because
Yeah.
like the guy was into bondage and stuff, and it basically was
Oh, yeah.
dominating women. So they are drawn to that because they want to dominate people.
True. True. I can
And that's
see that
exactly
connection.
how Hercules in DC Comics basically was exactly that for at least a while.
You got Ashley Graham. Thanks for putting up Wolf a picture of Ashley Graham. Again, this is full figured, done correctly.
Okay,
Ashley Graham has always
I
been
actually
in
got
my mind.
both the Jedi and the Sith codes. So basically, going by this power example,
Mm-hmm.
from what Dominic said, is basically one who handles that power. I like to show an example between the Jedi and the Sith in Star Wars and how they handle the Force powers. Here's the Jedi code. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Because the Jedi, being guardians of peace and justice who fall to the light side of the Force, whereas comparison to the Sith, they embrace the dark side of the Force because here's their code. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains will be broken. The Force shall set me free. They give into their emotions, they give into their power, and they stop at nothing to gain said power.
Everything, and you're correct with
They're
that.
also
And
they're
that,
also they're also very indulgent with their desires, with little to no hint of temperance. So to
Exactly.
throw in a wrench in that, this is the Great Code. There is no dark side nor light side. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. There is no good without evil, but evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet peace. There is serenity, yet emotion. There is chaos, yet order.
and you just described very well what's wrong with the Disney company as a whole, because what they have done is embrace the Sith side of the Force and not the Jedi side of the Force.
Or the Great Code.
Yes, yeah, well, the Great Cool. They've embraced it, and they have turned that into something to aspire to instead of the Jedi side of the Force, which is what we should be aspire to. But they hate that. They're everything that you just said that the Sith are, but they're trying to make that as good and the Jedi side as bad.
I mean, not just that, but Well, there were also ostracize those like who follow the Great Code as well.
Exactly. And then it goes back to the topic that we're discussing. Hello, is the topic that we're
Inside the table circle, under the sacred sword, a knight must vow to follow the code that is unending, unending as the table, a ring by honor bound. A knight is sworn to valor. His heart knows only truth. Oh shit. His heart knows only virtue. His blade defends the helpless. His might upholds the weak. His words speak only truth. His, his wrath undoes the wicked. The right can never die if a one man still recalls. The words not forgotten if one voice speaks them clear. The coal forever shines if one heart holds it bright.
so true. So very true.
Where do we go from here, Draco? To the stars, Bowen. To the stars. That's one sexy dragon, too.
I just want to say quick, if anybody knows the picture that Wolf has before us is Ashley Graham, who is like a superstar in the plus size modeling world. And for all those out there that this is a positive side. This is of being plus size because that's what most plus size models look like. And that I want to get that out there because some people think that when you say plus size models or body positivity, which I'm not going to stay on too long, but it kind of plays into the sex appeal because they seem to not want to have their heroes to have curves. Have you guys noticed that lately? That now they don't want women to look, and I've noticed this a lot, to not look feminine, to not look feminine, to not be curvy, to not have curves. Younger, it was, what is it, America Chavez, Ms. Marvel, the teenager
You could
is
have just called her
Marvel.
Miss Chavez, because there's
Yeah,
nothing about her that's distinctly American.
true. I
That's
I
just
mean,
the
totally
yeah,
agree with
nothing
name
that.
that
about her.
they gave her.
I mean,
Because
no, not
Well,
just from the name, but down to the freaking costume.
I thought they gave her the name because they wanted her to be the Latino Captain America. That's what they were trying to do, or something like that.
not
Drake,
not really. She made
okay.
her debut in Dark Ring. No, she made her debut in a miniseries called Avengers, created by Joe Casey and Nick Jagoda, and she was actually meant to be a legacy character for Miss America of the Marvel Universe. However, like they weren't able to fully execute that plan, and she was written well. She was written well back then, whether it's under the hands of Joe Casey and Nick Jagoda, or with Kieran Gillen during his time in the Young Avengers. All before Marvel like gave her to Gabby Rivera, which led to her bastardization.
Ah,
mm,
okay. Wolf, can you put Draco's comment back up right quick? I just want to address it because it's an excellent comment. Oh, it was, yeah. Yeah, he was responding to Neostar, and he says, to me, the characters in the MCU seem more snarky than confident, always trying to take a shot at someone than being fun. Draco, you are dead on. The MCU female characters are very unlikable. I don't know if anybody's noticed it that day, but they are very unlikable, and they're taking shots. They're snarky. That's all that they have them doing. I never liked Zendayas character in the Sony Spider-Man. I thought she was stuck up in the butt, snarky in all three of the pictures. Very unlikable girl. I'm sitting there going, what in the devil does Peter see in this child? I have no clue. But snarky. What's another word I'm looking for? I'm trying to find another word
well,
other than the B
one
word.
Entitled.
thing for sure. One thing for
Entitled.
Entitled.
sure,
Yes.
they got Snarky wrong too. If you guys really think about it, they got Snarky
Mm-hmm.
wrong. They got Snarky wrong too. Snark is not you just shit talking your friends. If I or at least people who are coming to your aid. That's not how snark works.
Right,
You,
exactly.
in fact, you're supposed to, if nothing else, you really ain't supposed to be snarking at your friends that much. You're supposed to be snarking at your enemies more. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah,
Saying
yeah.
when do we get to the point where it gets to the point where I'm starting to notice that this is going to translate to workman behavior. This is going to translate into school behavior. And I know we're going to get into the dudes later on, but we're talking about the women, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like noticing
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot of shit talk between characters that people claim to be their friends, and I'm just sitting here getting sick and tired of it. It's like dude, like I snark with my friends all the time, but do you guys hear me be malicious about it?
Nope.
No.
It's like
I,
if have I ever said anything that just outright just like there's always a clapback towards somebody? Like yeah,
no.
I have I have something witty to say sometimes, but at the same time it's like I'm not just going to be just outright just malicious to you guys. That's not what that's like. You're my friends. That's how I am with all my friends. Like we talk shit every once in a while, but at the same time, it's like we come together and we always have a good time talking to each other. I always say something nice and uplifting towards my friends as well. But my goodness, man, like every time somebody would say something inspirational or aspirational, they have to shoot it down with snark.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with you 100%. An example, and Humble Marty, I see your comment down there. Yes, I understand that's true. Um, but when I'll get back to that later because I get a little emotional when it gets about potty strap. But a good example for me is in the Spider-Man, just recently with Spider-Man No Way Home and the MJ, or I call her not Mary Jane. Um, they go to the Sanctum Sanctorum to Doctor Strange because Peter asks Doctor Strange because he brings his friends in to come help him. And they're there in the Sanctorium, and she gets all snarty and smart with Doctor Strange. Now, me at the home as the viewer, I'm sitting there to myself going, now, let me get this straight. I just walked into a wizard's home, and the wizard is in front of me, and I'm mouthing off on a wizard who pretty much can turn me into a frog anytime he gets ready. But I'm gonna sit there and mouth off. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me would not do that. Saying, it's all your fault that this is like this. So I'm sitting there going, I would have either glued her mouth shut with my powers to teach her a lesson
Me
about being
too.
respectful. If I was her, then yeah, that was me. Or yeah, glued her mouth shut, or put a zipper on it, or do like Neo in the Matrix. Her mouth just say that line that what's his name, telling him that you can't speak. And I would tell Peter, I'm gonna keep her mouth like that for a little while until she learns how to respect people. That wasn't being funny. That wasn't being
Imagine
independent.
the articles around that moment.
Yeah, especially for someone who walks into the home of Doctor
Strange.
Strange.
Yes.
Like he ain't allowed to do that. She's a little girl. She was basically saying what was correct, and this white male put her in her had the gall to put her in her place. Yes, because right now they're in a very weird situation. She don't need to she don't need to be mouth off to anybody right now.
Correct. That because I know you're thinking that's what the man haters think, but it was inappropriate because first of all, it was disrespectful. You don't just walk in and disrespect somebody in their own home. That's what I would say. I would say, well, let me get this straight now. You come
Because
into
this is
my
what
house.
happens when
Yeah.
you are a child.
Yes.
Disrespect someone, you immediately get your ass whooped by your parents.
I know I would have had. Yes,
Now, can you
exactly.
please help us?
And can you please back up out my damn face? Okay, just back up, okay? I don't like you anyway, and you know that.
Really?
That's something I probably would have said to her, and then I would have glued her mouth shut with my powers or turned her into a frog. I said, no, Peter, we're going to keep her like that for a little while till she learns a lesson in being respectful. And I want to get that clear because young girls go out there thinking, oh, that's so cool, what you said to Dr. Strange. No, that is disrespectful. That is not a quality that makes you beautiful.
Oh,
That
it's
doesn't
going to
make
be
you
even
strong.
worse for them. It's
That's what
gonna
makes
be
it simple.
extra worse for them when they deal with somebody who ain't gonna take their shit.
Yeah, because if you come in my house and you talk like that, oh, your butt will be out the door. That's what would happen. And I would have closed the door and I said, you stay out there till you learn responsibility. Or you learn to be respectful. Then you can come back in. Stay out there for a little while. I don't care if it's cold, freezing, zero. You got to learn, because I wasn't raised like that. Man, if I had talked
Mm,
like that, like you said, I would have been smacked to the wall. So, and she does that in all of the movies. She did it in the first one. She does it in the second one. She does it in this one. And I said, there's when the officers arrest her.
But oh, you gotta understand your children. No,
Yes,
because parents hardly ever understand their children because they are not them. They are not raised in the same circumstances that they were once in. Lightning does not strike twice.
exactly. I absolutely agree. And then she's being interrogated, mouthing off at the police, being disrespectful. Now I don't know about you guys, but if I've been arrested and I'm being held in office, man, I'm gonna kiss some serious butt so I don't have to stay in there. I'm like, what do you want to know? Or I would have immediately said, I did not do it. So and
Yeah,
so did it, because I ain't going
you're
to jail.
in dangerous waters when you're gonna be with the police.
Yes, yeah. That's another thing.
Mess with the police, don't expect mercy out of them because they will kick your ass. And
In
I mean kick your ass.
They are not that nice when you are being interrogated in a police in her situation. She's sitting there saying, I know my rights. I have to say anything. I'm like, honey, they ain't gonna be they don't like it's not gonna go like that. It's not gonna go like that. They can
they're
keep you there if
really
they want to.
misrepresenting the police in the movies for centuries now. There is no such thing as
Yes,
Miranda rights.
right. She's sitting there. I know my rights. I don't have to say anything to you. I don't. If we, it don't work like that.
I
They can
bet your
keep
mom wishes she had swallowed you.
even when they come to the door and the aunt starts telling them about you can keep it in or and with Aunt May, and they knock on the door and they coming in. I want to say, Aunt May, that's the government. Don't mouth off. That's the FBI. Don't stand there. If they open the door and I see them guys there, I'm like, come right on in, officers. Anybody want some tea? I ain't gonna try to bulldoze these people down, even if I know I ain't done nothing. I still got to be cool. But they are all of these female characters are very unlikable. You guys notice that a lot of them are it's like the snarkiness, the rudeness. I wouldn't want to if I was around somebody like that, man. It'd be fist fighting all over the place.
It's like they're
Yeah,
trying to
Night. She was my least
interpret.
character.
It's like
Well,
trying to interpret Little Red Riding Hood in Into the
Man, you guys
Woods
are
as
active in
this.
these comments.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to make Little Red Riding Hood from Into the Woods suddenly now as this role model, despite that literally everybody in Into the Woods learns. Because, like, I swear to God, Jack literally loses his mom, or maybe that's his gran. Um, the baker, he thought his father died, but yet somehow he turns out he finds him and is somehow still alive, and he just ran away after his wife died. And both Prince Charmings from Rapunzel and Cinderella both cheat on their wives,
Oh,
and they
good.
get karma back right at them. Because yeah, literally
One of them,
everybody.
not both of them.
Wait, I
One of
thought
them
the
cheated on the princess. The other one, he was fighting his way back to get to the other princess.
I was
And
talking
then,
about like
that
I was
that
talking
is
about like the stage
that is
show.
correct.
oh, okay, I'm talking about the
Yeah,
movie version.
yeah, I was talking about like the stage show. Like, I swear to God, the movie wishes it would try to do the same things, but if you want to do a movie musical, well, watch Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. Whether you want to watch the theatrical cut or the director's cut is completely up to you. They have the director's cut for the Blu-ray release, though.
Yeah, that's how you. Yeah, exactly. But along with that, and now we get down to it's like Child of Flowers said, all of these so-called empowering characters, every last one of them are extreme. I said I don't like any of these lady characters. I'm trying to think anything outside the MCU, but I don't like any of the characters. And one of the problems, even though I enjoyed No Way Home, was the Zendaya character. I said she's getting on my last nerves. in the whole film. And then when he comes back, I mean, when they're in the scene with her and the other guy, and they bring back the other Peters, throwing bread at him. I was like, what is that going to prove? That's that's not going to prove anything. But the point is, they're trying to take these negative qualities because first of all, they think the people doing that hate men, and they think men are like that. So they're taking those cookie qualities and putting it in women and think it's empowering, but it's not. It is so not empowering.
They they treat their characters and yet want to romanticize their characters as if they were like some sort of dominatrix sexual
Yes.
goddess, well minus the sexuality part because holy lordy sex, my lordy.
Let me
They
let me let me put a pin on what you're talking about to address Neil Starr's comment real here. He said CW is even worse about that. Do you know how many times a powerless character either talks shit or threatens a villain who can easily murder them without any consequences? It got an annoying layer in the layer half of the CW shows. But usually back then when they did attempt that, that was a moment of them being afraid and showing off their bravery. That at this point they're very self assured that the hero is coming to assist them in some capacity or another. Like Karen from Daredevil when she was when she was held hostage by Wesley, and Wesley was trying to intimidate her in such a way, but she held her ground and even managed to grab the gun and through reaction though she ended up shooting him dead.
Well, it's
Yeah,
all it's how you write it. Like you said, Neostar has a point, and you have a point. Well, if you have to make sure that you're writing that, because if you don't write it as the character coming across of finding their strength and their bravery, it will come across the wrong way as them trying to mouth off on somebody who pretty much can snap their neck in a minute. So it's how you come across. You got to make sure you write that, and they don't, like Neostar said, they don't know how to do that. They don't know
yeah,
how to do
because
it as you just explain it.
they just try to make their characters, their female ladies, just this now this because they try to make the men like the most incompetent or basically like as basically just simps for the ladies. They would try to make the ladies carry attributes from dominatrix, well minus the sexuality part from the eroticism because my lord sexuality, holy lord, they hate that so much. They treat it as more so as this goddess type of a woman, but
Hmm.
yet suddenly they would just have the most entitled spoiled child personality as this narcissist type, like Poison Ivy. Actually, why is she always wanting to have the? Why does she want the world ruled by Mother Nature? Because she thinks that's the most inferior. But then she's so entitled to that, and yet nothing else could even change her mind from that. Anyone dares to stop her, dare stand in her way, you're gonna regret that.
Exactly, exactly. And
I'm
so what?
guessing from what you guys were talking about, sex appeal doesn't always have to mean looks as well. It just also means personality.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm trying to
I
be
mean,
nice
one
about it, not
example I can
calling.
already think of is Wolf's character, Sybil, from where he just basically got it from like I'm looking at the list right now from the movie chat. It's just one, two, three, four, five, six female characters that he likes from Xena Warrior Princess, Power Girl, Basla Moribito, if I'm saying that right. Is that right?
Balsa from Seirei no Moribito.
Mm, that's right. She-Hulk, Alita Battle Angel, Red Sonja, and Queen Lagertha Vikings.
Lagatha.
Lagatha. I don't know why there's an either.
Okay, that's a good little mix. Good
It's a
little mix of
misspell.
the characters. That's a good little
Vikings
mix.
from the series Vikings.
Hmm.
Yeah, Queen Lagatha from Vikings.
That's a good mixture of some female characters. That's a good
Yeah,
mixture
She's an
when it comes to.
amalgamation of those characters that embodies what I like in my female characters.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good a mixture because it goes back to what Final is saying. Your charm and your sex appeal doesn't always have to be your physical looks. Like for instance, let's take Xena for an example. Let's look at the show. Both Xena and Gabrielle had their own way, their own beauty. In my ways, now Gabrielle may not have the Amazonian type of beauty that Xena had, but Gabrielle had.
The best way to put their design wise in sex
Mm-hmm,
appeal,
mm-hmm.
Gabrielle was the Dylan to almost Xena's Cher from Clueless.
Okay,
If
I
Cher
probably
had a
that.
brain, that is. And even Cher was a pretty girl.
Mm-hmm,
Alicia Silverstone, then later the actress that played Cher in the TV series.
mm-hmm.
Personally, as much as I like Alicia Silverstone, I like the actress from the show a lot better because of one opening. Yeah, little
Well,
Wolf was watching Cher coming out that pool, and I was like, you know what? Look, look. Silverstone has the acting chops, but damn it, she'll never beat that rising out of the pool scene at all. Sorry, Alicia Silverstone. Hi, nameless actress. I can't remember for the life of me playing Cher.
Oh, there's another example for female characters with sex appeal, but that also ties up men that are part of that alien race. That's part of that. Well, because it is an alien race that's basically entirely about sex appeal. The Zeltrons from the Star Wars expanded universe.
Oh
They're in.
yeah.
Yep,
Hmm.
their entire planet of Zeltros, which is basically where they got the name. What the Zeltrons are, they basically are this entire. They're similar to the equivalent of the Lotus Eaters, pretty much. That's basically even their entire planet. Even those who wish to conquer that planet, they fail to do so. Why? Because the Zeltrons have a pheromone that releases within from their bodies, and yet they suddenly begin to have this more relaxing feel. So almost like a lavender-ish type of pheromones. So then they would basically use them to calm them down, whether they basically seek for pleasure or just seek them to relax. And they use their bodies just for that. And even from their getup, their entire suit wear is entirely sex appeal, men and women alike. Even their arts and their culture entirely based on that. Hell, they even developed like I forgot what it's called though. It's basically kind of an equivalent to a love potion, where you basically just drink it, but then suddenly you're instantly just now in love with whoever you come into contact with at first sight. So almost a Cupid effect.
Mm-hmm.
An aphrodisiac.
Basically,
There
yeah.
you go. Then I was back on the name too. I was like, wait, I should know the name of that fluid. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
aphrodisiac.
yeah. I should already know that name of that fluid too. Because I mean, I just already searched up on this and I couldn't even remember it either. Yeah, Humble Marty basically got that right, even though Dom said it. But yeah, you pretty much got that right. It's basically a love potion.
Very right.
Oh,
Another thing I'm noticing as Wolf shows the different pictures, if you notice with sex appeal, is womanhood. What do I mean by womanhood? I mean 25 and up. Hollywood today, what is always like that, but they used to embrace the curves of being womanly,
I
going
missed
into
the
womanhood,
'90s when they did
becoming.
that.
Yeah, the 90s they pretty much had it intact when a woman could have. When you get older, you when you get out of puberty, you have a womanly body, which is curvy and feminine, and you don't see that. They now want to make these
well,
characters um
what even
less
like
feminine,
even
less curvy, less
earlier,
womanly.
like even earlier than the 80s, it was like when womanhood was embraced as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, so, yep, yep. You're right. There are some exceptions to that rule, but I do understand what you're saying because I'm trying to think in the 80s. Like for instance, the feminists totally misunderstand Leia in her slave costume in Return of the Jedi. They so don't get that. They absolutely don't
Hmm.
get that because now at Disney World they took down all the pictures of her in her slave costume. They took all that away, and I was like, why? when I saw her to the Jedi and her in it, I didn't get offended because she choked she choked
She
the
was forced
daylight
to
out
that
of
situation
right.
because she was caught by Jabba trying to free Han. Because his original slave, originally a Twi'lek, because Twi'leks were originally always the first victims to even be slaves, and yet they're always forced upon that. Compared to the Zeltrons, they would always be ones to give pleasure because they um, revel in that. But anyway, Leia was forced into doing that because of that. The original Twi'lek slave that Jabba had at the Return of the Jedi was already eaten by the Rancor.
Right, exactly. Oh, I understand that completely.
He didn't even
Final. I
need to
understand
do
completely
that.
what you're saying. I'm getting that. No, he didn't do that, but he was a vile gangster. So he is not going to act in a
Hmm.
kind-hearted, loving way. He is described as a vile gangster. So he's not going to
I'm
be
still
okay.
horrified by that event. You don't even get to
But
see
the
her
girl,
get down. She just, you know, you don't see her get eaten. You just hear her final screams. And even then,
Mm-hmm.
she had a sister in the Senate, in the EU, who
Mm-hmm.
actually got together an army to try to strike back against the I forgot who they were striking back against. Maybe the gangsters, I believe. But there was a moment where they go extensively about what was supposed to happen, but never did because of Jabba's interference. Luke was meant to get Ula, that's her name, Ula,
hmm
out of slavery. Like even he had talked to her at one point, but unfortunately, you know, Jabba had to get a little bit too handsy, and
hmm
here we are. You know,
well, you see her now when he's trying to pull her to her. She don't
actually
want to
no.
go. Who wants to go up
Wait,
against that ugly slob?
wait,
You know.
wait. I take that back. I misread that. No, it was he had the chance to get him out of there, but she ended up staying. Her sister left with Luke, but she ended up staying. I don't. The circumstances be damn on how that was supposed to work, but there it is. You know.
Yeah,
Either
and
way, go ahead.
continue. Oh no, don't finish. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, while we really on the Twilight, let's let's get into to the whole sex appeal in designing characters, shall we? I
Okay.
mean, they're meant to like there's a reason why female monsters look more beautiful than male monsters. A lot of people want to question and hubbub all about the well why does the female monsters have to look just beautiful, more beautiful than the male monsters? Why can't they look just as ugly too? And this is where we even got that ugly ass She-Hulk over the years
Oh
for a
yeah,
while
yeah.
because they want her to look equally as ugly as the Hulk because apparently God forbid we God forbid we make a female character a monster but also make her look sexy. There's when you really break it down though, when you really break it down and think on it, why wouldn't you want to make her look beautiful? There's a reason why beauty is the way it is. Sometimes it can be stand in as the forbidden fruit. Sometimes it be so beautiful that you're being entranced by it, but you'll find the ugly underneath the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I agree.
Sometimes the beauty hides the beast.
Yeah.
Think
And
about it like that.
this applies to both women and men, and it has been explored in fiction like throughout the centuries.
And who could forget the best sexy alien monster, Syl from Species?
Oh
Everything
yeah.
that everything about Syl is designed specifically to be honey trap material, and that's what we call it, honey trap. She's a literal walking honey trap. Most of the time, majority of the time though, she's courting men to get pregnant to obviously preserve her species. Now she's been born.
Oh, absolutely. In classic in which let's go take vampires for example. You have the male um, vampires and the females. And the females, they're both the same. They're both alluring and sexy, and nothing embraces that more than a female. You're the same thing. You're alluring,
Most
seductive.
monsters pretty
Why?
much
To
this
try to
applies
bring
to
in, yeah.
this applies to most monsters as well, aside from vampires. We
Hmm.
also have the sirens and the mermen. What attracts them? A beautiful song. But then their looks come in once they find the source of whatever their beautiful song that they would be hearing. Or how about another infamous one, absolutely infamous one, the succubi and the incubi,
Yep.
one
Yes.
who uses seduction and through turning to try to take their victims' souls in sleep paralysis to either kill them or drive them mad.
So they
And in
come in the
some
disguise
cases, fuck
of
them, fuck
beauty.
their brains out and absorb their seed and drain their energy.
Yes,
Am I wrong? Am I lying?
No.
you're not
No,
wrong.
no,
That's
you're
what they
not
do.
wrong. Yeah, I mean, it corresponds like with the history surrounding them.
You're all of you guys are absolutely grasp with all three of those examples.
Um,
The idea is to come in the disguise of beauty and seduction. Why? Because it works. And women just have this. It can be with men as well, as we have seen, but it also works very well with females because the power of feminine beauty, the power of feminine allure, the seduction of the feminine softness plays a part in that. So you're
We
all
don't
right in all
speak
ways.
about that remake, bro.
wait, there was a remake from Medusa?
For
Oh,
Yeah,
Clash of Titans in
For
2010.
Clash of the Titans.
that CG CGI Medusa that they did.
That did a lot of expressing as opposed to the Ray Harryhausen puppet.
Right.
That bitch screamed too damn much. I'm like
Well, I
bitch, shut
wanted
the fuck
to.
up.
First of all, I just wanted to apologize. 'Cause I keep disconnecting and stuff like that, but I'm closer to the Wi-Fi now, so
Yay.
No problem. I know how you
so
feel.
what about like the different types of like sex appeal? Like there's sensuality, and then there's um I don't, for example, like there's also like a subtlety to
You mean
for example, like
hedonism or
in
something?
no, like there's sensuality, and there's being sensual, and then there's also damn, I just don't know the words.
I mean,
um no,
hedonism's another.
not
Mm-mm,
hedonism,
Oh,
not hedonism.
mm-mm.
I'm talking about sensual, like being
Sensual.
sensual. And
Do you have an example?
um I know in Psychopaths, like there's sex appeal, but it's subtle. It's not like fan servicey like other anime. Like as far as I know,
Yeah.
there's subtle about it. It's like sensual.
Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
Well,
What's
another
wrong?
one.
Back me up on that, girl.
I've never seen Cowboy Bebop, so I can't comment.
I'll strangle you.
Another one I think of that they toned down her sensuality, and I can't stand it, is what they did to the Scarlet Witch in the MCU. In the comic version, it was
don't even get me fucking
yeah.
started on what they decided
Oh
to make her
man.
do in that fucking show. They'll never, they'll never
Un-
know what you sacrifice for. Sacrifice what? Her children that don't even exist? Fuck
un-
you.
Yeah.
I feel your pain, man.
Yes.
So, trying to make Scarlet Witch this tragic hero, my ass. Yes, I know she was a bit more of a tragic character in the comics. Yes, and I know that the entirety of WandaVision is based on House of M. My fucking god.
They're trying to make her
Well,
the unsung hero. That's what they were trying to
Exactly.
do, and they failed miserably. We're not
they
gonna
failed big
revisit that
time.
topic per se.
No,
What, what I am saying, I'm pretty sure what Ellie is trying to bring up is the fact that there's a total lack of subtlety and sensuality too as well. There's some shows that they just think the ugly is sexy and they just put it right in your face too much.
oh God,
And
yes,
and
that
and,
is true.
and the sack bag
I think
design.
what happens is like feminists get all uptight about like sex appeal because they interpret it like something sensual or subtle being vulgar. Like they confuse the vulgar with the sensual. And that's why they get all uptight about it. And not only that, but I also think it's like Leia said earlier about their self-esteem. Like they feel terrible about themselves and they want to bring others down with them because they're, territorial
Misery loves
about,
company.
yeah, and they don't
Yeah.
want other people to be better than them. To them, they like perceive someone that's more attractive as someone who's privileged and things like that because they were born with that attractiveness that
I,
like they're undeserving of whatever position they've gotten to in life. Because
Yeah,
I
there's
mean it's true that like people like seeing attractive people on the screen and things like that, but I
porn in
mean
the pages.
beauty, like what I've learned recently, like looking into how to better take care of myself and like improve myself, is that beauty it's difficult to maintain. You could easily let yourself go and then you
Hmm.
lose that beauty. So there's some self-maintenance, maintaining yourself in the way that it's not that easy, like maintaining appearances,
Yeah,
like
because
your appearance,
passion
because not
is
only that but it's fleeting, it's gonna fade eventually, so
exactly. Passion is fleeting. The only way it will last forever is through discipline and training.
Hmm.
and what you have to remember is nothing wrong with looking attractive, but you got to remember they do fade. Looks fade over time, so you can't rely on it totally to bring you happiness.
You gotta
It's
be
okay.
sure. You gotta be sure to maintain gradually as it gradually like gradually slowly degrade.
yeah.
Hmm.
You gotta make
If you
sure you
don't
gotta make
take care of yourself, you age poorly, but if you take care of yourself you'll age gracefully.
Yes,
hmm
true.
Hmm.
I agree with
I,
that.
I mean, look at Linda Carter. Her, like she looks,
Yeah.
she looks what? She looks really good, good. Like even though like she may
Dude,
not look
for a
like
minute there, I
it.
thought you said she looks wet.
No,
No.
dude, you.
I thought you didn't have it in you, man. I'm like, dang, dog.
Dude,
I think a little piece of me has rubbed off of you.
dude,
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 that
dude.
is not what I was saying.
You could have
I'm
thought it.
serious. I will. No, I was not thinking about that.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the fact that Final probably turned on his camera, but like there's something blocking the screen.
I mean, yeah, my camera's already
Anyway,
off. My camera's
Yeah,
already off by doing that.
that's on you,
as I
buddy.
was saying, as I was saying in my example, Linda Carter, she looks good for a woman of her age.
Yeah,
It's like
she does.
whenever I look at her, she looks like someone like between their 40s and 50s. But when we look at her like real age, like people are impressed, like men and women alike. Like wow, no, she has really aged gracefully because she has taken good care of herself.
Absolutely. I agree with you,
Yeah,
Dominic. You and Eloise.
give
And
you
and one thing,
money
they
to.
can't even use the argument that, oh people of this community or that community, they don't have access to like the ability to look that beautiful or whatever
Bitch,
because
what do you
the
call
Oh,
a
Bull
hair
crap.
salon?
yeah, yeah, they don't have the ability to use that excuse because like
Bitch,
one of
you
the
have the very concept of
Did you
self.
even live in those communities? Do you not know that beauty salons are invaded by black women? A
the
lot of
beauty
nail
salons and
salons.
the like a bunch of beauty salons in the hood.
And ran by
Also, if
China women.
also
Both
if you
both hair salons and nail salons. Yeah, black women
also
are the supposed experts on hair product and how to do hair. Bitch, why you ain't own a damn salon then? Why'd
Actually,
y'all
I've
stop?
seen. I
Why'd you
don't know
stop?
about where you live, Wolf. But like where I live, I've actually seen a lot of Dominicans running hair salons,
I'm
and
talking about
I've
my
also
I'm talking about my sisters. I know about your Dominican sisters, but I'm talking about
no, no, no.
my
I mean, like in the hood, like I've seen Dominicans running hair salons, and I've also seen black people running hair salons as well. So like, I mean, there's a
that's
lot of
Jersey.
people. Yeah, but there's a lot of people running hair salons in the hood. I don't know about lately because a bunch of businesses closed down. So, but like for example, like the Chinese hair salon, like that was run by Chinese people. They I think they closed down the closest one to me. So I think it's people are starting to feel the effects of the lockdowns. I mean, it's been happening, but it's now and people are really starting to feel it. So yeah, sorry, I just went into a tangent.
No, no.
I
That's
think
good. That's appropriate.
I think all of you are making a very good point, and even for myself, I've included this that in order to look your best, you have to take good care of yourself. But these woke nuts do not believe in taking care of themselves. There's no excuse for that. I know
Yeah,
women
because
now who are
they don't
yeah
have any form of concept of self. They don't
yes,
even realize
yeah
that if you want to have anyone else to help out this community, where does it all start? It starts with you.
you
like for instance,
I'm gonna start off with this poem that, even though it was off stream from the last one, but I will recite it for everyone else in this audience, and I'm gonna be more genuine about it.
Oh wait, before that, I think what's going on is like they want immediate results, and things aren't immediate. Like if you start working out, and for example, if you start working out, and for example, myself, like I'm planning to like do that, but like the results are not going to be immediate. It's gradual. It's like a gradual
Hmm.
growth, and because of that, they don't want to work or struggle
If
for that
anything,
end
girl, do
goal.
some push-ups. At least get some muscle in the arms.
or
I
do
can't do push-ups.
or
I
do
try. I'm just gonna hit the floor. I'm gonna have to start
or
like with walking, and then
and
or
that's
move up to
good.
running.
All I'm
or
Walking,
saying is,
or do calisthenics, a full body workout.
all I'm saying is, if you get your arms like She-Hulk's, they're gonna look at more at your arms than the rest of your body. Trust me. You gotta flex them arms, girls. Flex them arms, and they're like, "Ooh, mama."
Eloise,
That's
and when in
fine.
doubt, walking is a great way to start. You're
Yeah,
doing
And
that's
running.
something.
I want to do that. Like just start walking and then slowly move into jogging, then running.
Alrighty then. Well,
yeah.
that's yeah.
Because I'm tired of like moving around, and then I'm feel like I'm out of breath and stuff like that.
Well,
Hmm.
there you go. Well, you're off to a good start. If in doubt, start walking first. Take it one step at a time. That's what I'm doing. Master that. Master your walking. Get you a good walking pattern. Don't think about running or anything like that. Let's just deal with that walking. Get yourself in a good walking pattern, groove, routine.
Yeah.
Once you've mastered
Yeah.
that routine, then take yourself up to the next level with running. So don't rush yourself. Just take yourself up. Just take it in different phases, different goals for yourself. Think of it
Mhm.
as something to achieve each time. So say, okay, I got this running mastered. I mean, I got the walking mastered. Now I want to move on to the running. So you build up with that. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's a good way to start. You
One
don't
of your
have to
favorite
start so
anime
low.
song.
No. Over time, like the result, everything that you've done, don't like will pay off as you achieve your ideal physique.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And here in like for instance, here in Michigan, I don't know what's going on. They're having the Miss Michigan badge to see who's going to compete in Miss USA, and one of the competitors, good lord, has entered the competition and has vowed that she won't wear any makeup or do her hair. She is going all natural because she wants to prove that it doesn't take her her inner beauty should win, not her physical appearance. Y'all don't
What the
want to see
fuck she
this
look
woman's
like?
face.
Baggy eyes?
Oh, she messed up. She is just
She
what
toe up
she
to the
says.
flow up?
I don't
Yes,
think she understands that natural beauty doesn't mean you should be unpresentable.
correct,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
correct.
it sounds like she missed the memo.
Absolutely. Women nowadays have got
So
the
you
wrong
gonna come out
interpretation
looking
of
like you
makeup.
just got out of bed. Okay.
Yes, yes, that's her plan. She's in the competition. She says, and she's the news is getting news on her. She says, "I plan to put focus on my intelligence instead of what I look like." Well, that
Bitch,
doesn't
I don't
mean.
care how smart you is. You look ugly as hell. You like Fiona's second sister.
Yeah, and just, and those and
Wait,
those who
do you guys?
You ain't look. You
You
talking some
know,
intelligence. You ain't smart enough to actually brush your hair at least, wash your face, brush your teeth. You gonna come out looking like you got out of bed. You ain't got no intelligence then if you ain't thinking like that.
Go ahead, Eloise. I was going to say something. Did you want to say something? Then I'll go ahead.
yeah, I was. Uh, it would be funny if I remember there was a woman who was not a woman, a trans person competing in I don't know if it was Texas, a beauty pageant in Texas, or was it somewhere else where like, it would be funny if that happened again, where that another trans person competed and just beat her.
I
That
would
would
love
be
for that to
interesting.
happen for
That
once.
yes, that would be interesting. That is, these well, they have a misconception about makeup, hair, and makeup. They are so, and I see them now. Even where I go to job at work, oh, I refuse to wear makeup. I refuse to give in to the patriarchy. I'm going to come to work ugly. They, they,
Cause
they
I mean,
you know,
originally, I remember hearing that originally makeup was for men,
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
and then women slowly adopted it. So I mean, no man is actually forcing a woman to wear makeup. That's
You
on
know,
her to
every
like do
time we
that.
look back in history, it always seemed like it really always seemed like something that women just got into, and now they're mad about it. That at the fact that now they got into it, men are noticing that they're getting into it, but they don't want the men to notice that they're getting into it. They want to keep that shit a secret. It seems, but you out there with it, bitch.
Well, you got two types. You got the one that you just described that are angry at it, and then you have the ones that refuse to do it, but then they don't understand why men aren't asking them out. A woman did a whole symposium on it. She's wondering, okay, I'm smart. I run my own business. I have a good job. How come men aren't asking me out? And she was the most homely looking woman you had ever seen. No makeup, baggy clothes, didn't
Bitch,
brush
I
her
don't want no
hair.
competitor.
And you said,
I don't want
and
no
you wonder why.
competitor.
Competitor.
Yeah, because men don't look for
Competition with
providers.
women.
Men want to be the providers. Like men don't
That
look for
too.
providers. I mean, I'm sure she could find a lady that would be interested.
Probably so, the way she,
Mhm.
but she kept asking, how come you men don't ask me out? What is it? Why aren't you? Because she's 40 now. She said, understand why men
Oh,
do not. But if you
if
saw
she's
her,
40, then that means like as people on YouTube like to say, she's hit the wall. So,
yes,
but that's a stage in which like beauty starts to fade and things like that. And it's it's even
Man, she
worse
hit that wall hard.
if she doesn't take care of her appearance, then it's even worse.
but I can see why she's been alone all this time because she does, for the very reason you just said, Eloise. She doesn't keep up her appearance. She refuses to keep up her appearance. She look, face it, men are visual creatures. They respond to the visual whether you like it or not. They do. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to look at the mirror at me and go, oh shoot, that is a dog ugly person. I want to be able, I like to look good for myself. Now if somebody else thinks I look good, hey, all for it, thank you very much. But I don't want to look at me and look dog ugly.
I'll be right back.
So they are a lot of it. They are doing it to themselves because they keep blaming. Well, I don't want to give into the patriarchy. That's men. That's men that they're trying to say. Put this on men.
That's on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have no one to blame but yourself. Take responsibility and do something to improve your to live a fruitful life.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now I will want to recite this poem to you about all of this. And I'm going to be starting to feel more genuine, so you won't hear my storytelling voice. Do not love half lovers. Do not entertain half friends. Do not indulge in the works of the half talented. Do not live half a life. Do not die half a death. If you choose silence, then be silent. When you speak, do so until you're finished. Do not silence yourself to say something, and do not speak to be silent. If you accept, then express it bluntly. Do not mask it. If you refuse, then be clear about it. For an ambiguous refusal is but a weak acceptance. Do not accept half a solution. Do not believe half truths. Do not dream half a dream. Do not fantasize about half hopes. Half a drink will not quench your thirst. Half a meal will not satiate your hunger. Half the way will get you nowhere. Half an idea will bear you no results. Your other half is not the one you love. It is you in another time, yet in the same space. It is you when you are not. Half a life is a life you did not live. A word you have not said, a smile you postponed, a love you have not had, a friendship you did not know. To reach and not arrive, to work and not work, attend only to be absent. What makes you a stranger to them closest to you and they strangers to you? The half is a mere moment of inability. But you are able, for you are not half a being. You are a whole that exists to live a life, not half a life.
And that was a final poetry moment. Thank you for that, fun. I'm gonna get Wolf. The picture he has up now. Okay, a lot of guys. That's their fantasy.
Oh yeah,
Not
just
central. It's
yeah,
Yeah.
BDSM, Velma and Daphne.
Yeah.
After reciting an entire poem about the actual existence of living.
that's
But like you
Oh,
said,
David Wolf.
All right, let
oh,
me
more on
tell
the
you
Wolf.
about
vulgar
your
side.
God's plan. 7 billion people on Earth where the infection hit. KV had a 90% kill rate. That's 5.4 billion people dead, crashed and bled out, dead. Less than 1% immunity. That left 12 that left 12 million healthy people like you, me, and Ethan. The other 588 million turned into your dark seekers, and then they got hungry and they killed and fed on everybody. Everybody. Every single person that you or I has ever known is dead. Dead. There is no God.
That's from
I
oh
am
my god.
Legend,
Yeah, I am
and,
Legend.
this was before Neville's character development, where his sense of hope and optimism was restored.
Oh yeah, I agree. Hope and optimism, and that's what is missing in our. I was thinking about this the other day. It's what's missing in our society right now. Hope and optimism, because these little woke nuts that are afraid of sex appeal don't have. Like you said, you have to find your own. You what I would tell them, instead of sitting there trashing on this, you have to find your own inner beauty. You have to find your own way. None of us are going to look like what we see with movies. Neo Star. Giving
I
her
see. These visions you have, what are they of? They're of pain, suffering, death. Yourself you speak of? Or someone you know? Someone close to you? Yes. Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side. I won't let these visions happen, Master Yoda. Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those who fall into the Force. Mourn them do not, miss them do not. Attachment leads to jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is. What must I do, Master Yoda? Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
We will start with the perfect omelet, which is made with 2 eggs, not 3. Amateurs often add milk for density. This is a mistake.
How do we go from the Force to omelet making?
You know how he is.
Yes.
Yeah, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, because I carry a big stick. I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley. 2 sharks down, Lord. 1 demon fish to go. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. I can't hear you. Amen.
I forgot where that's from.
Deep blue sea. Deepest bluest, my hair's like a shark's fin.
Oh, that.
Deepest bluest, my hair's like a
Okay.
shark's fin. Deepest bluest, my hair's like a shark's fin.
I was going to comment with Neo Star. Neo Star, I told you curves are not bad on a woman.
Yeah, like these ones.
Yeah, like with Ashley Graham. That is contrary to what my people might believe. That is usually what most plus size women. And I've walked in a plus size. I walked the runway. Even though I'm telling you guys, you do have to train yourself to walk in 3-inch high heels. Trust me. But anyway, yeah, I had to walk in. Oh, I used to wonder, why are they putting me on the runway? And they told me because I was tall. So they wanted tall women, because I couldn't understand why I couldn't do print. I wanted to do print, but they kept putting me, and the one that trained me told me they want you on runway because you are tall, and the taller plus size models, they wanted them to walk runway, and the ones that were a little on the shorter, they wanted for print. And telling you, you had to practice in them 3-inch high, and they were 3 inches. You did not walk in anything under 3 inches. Were very hard to do. I said, I hope I don't slip and fall. But anyway, that's what we look at. People have the misconception that plus size models are blobs. That's why a lot of them are against seeing us in shows. But
They have the
that's
wrong
not.
impression on them
Yes,
as
they have the
well.
wrong. Yes,
Don't
they have the
forget about that.
wrong idea, because I modeled swimsuit, lingerie, and casual. And I said, why you having put on this? Like I said, I was tall, so that's what they wanted to use before. And
Oh boy,
we're
here we
not.
go again.
Yeah, well, we got to get the mail. We got to get the mail. Well, think about it, guys, and don't take this the wrong way. Let's segue into men's sex appeal. Do you think now that women like looking at? I personally, and you guys know this, I don't have to explain this, I like my men masculine. I like manly masculinity.
The manliest
Okay.
of men. That's what she likes.
Yes.
The manliest of
Because
men.
yes,
But
masculinity.
Sean Connery, Henry Cavill, Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth, and countless others.
Yes, like this picture of Henry Cavill as the Witcher. Hey, I can see why women would do that. We watched that show because I'm like, okay, that's a man. That's a man you want you to come kick the door down and rescue you with. That's what you want to be rescued by. Strong, muscular, and manly, because there's beauty in masculinity. The woke nuts look at masculinity, and I'm talking to you men out there that are listening. They want to downplay masculinity because they hate it. Masculinity should not be hated. It's beautiful. And I mean that in a masculine way. And it's nothing for them to look down on. But lately, they're trying to demasculize men. You guys notice? I'm sure you have to notice that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we've noticed it along with their efforts of defeminizing women and girls by disavowing femininity.
Because tell me this, guys, how can a 90-pound little waif, skinny little woman beat the crap out of a 6 foot muscle bound guy? I'm sorry, that's
You
just
can't.
not. It can't. It cannot be done.
I mean, she'd probably have to have a crossbow or a gun, but like without that, like in hand-to-hand combat,
She
it's
She's
it's
she'll
not
be
going to
even
body
win.
slammed.
yep.
She's not going to
Well,
win.
well, then what do you? Okay, let me ask you this: how do you guys feel about that movie, Hannah?
I did not see that movie,
I
but
haven't seen it
but
either.
but I did see a scene where she takes down. Does she take down a whole room of men in a room? She takes them all down in a minute.
Yes, but she's not outright just overpowering them. She's punched them several times
I mean,
to bring them down.
sometimes it also depends on like if like her opponent is her opponent trained in combat or not, and did she like take her opponent by surprise,
Well, I think of Natasha
or
Romanoff.
or did she or did she, did did she like get them to underestimate her because she's a woman? Like a lot of the way that female combat works is it's through trickery because women can't afford to be direct when it comes to a fight. They have to resort to trickery and deceit in order to fight because they don't have that muscle power.
That's what I that that's and that's what I wanted you to say, and I totally get what you're saying, Elise, and that's very true. They have to use other means to take them down because they know they can't beat them muscle wise. That's why
Fight
I think
smart, not hard.
right,
Yeah.
like with Natasha Romanoff. Now that's another one whose femininity is they as they try to downplay because she uses it to defeat the men she had to take down. That's a part of that. We know she could take care of herself. We can see that very clearly.
Yeah, it's kind of sad how they did a prequel movie
Oh, the prequel
and
movie was awful. That was awful. I
yeah,
agree.
Nowadays,
it
think about it like this: you got that movie, right? But then you got tens of other movies showing her struggling to fight against enemies. Whereas in this one, she's taking every fucking beating from the fucking buildings, no less.
and it just runs contrary to what she is, a spy and an agent.
Contrary to what she went through in the later movies, you don't see her falling off buildings, hitting shit, and then walking away with a half limp.
Right.
Every time I seen that scene where she falling and hitting herself on all manner of shit, like it's the fucking rundown. I'm like, no,
I
no, she
guess
is dead.
I
Just like
guess
that bitch in
gravity
the damn
doesn't.
puddle. She's
I gu-
dead.
I guess like gravity in the MCU didn't work until they got to the first movie of the MCU.
Well, let's take
Right?
a look. Let's take a look at her in Avengers in her opening scene where she's being captured and she's about to be interrogated by these guys. Okay, she's about to be interrogated by these guys. I didn't have too much an issue with it because she did find a way to kind of undermine them a little bit so she could get free. But I think that a lot of that was the skills and how she's trained and the
Mm-hmm.
way she fights. It's not just punching. She does these twisty aerobatic moves that kind of get them. What's the word I'm looking
Aerobatic.
for? She jumps and she twists. She does these twisty little moves. You know how she jumps on the acrobatic, yeah.
Aerobics.
These acrobatic moves. She jumps. That kinds of she's able to overpower them. She's not punching them like you said. She probably physically cannot punch them, but she does these aerobatic, twisty little moves that gets them overpowered, and she's able to defeat them.
Well, what's funny?
Did I say the wrong word?
No, Wolf. I
She
hear
said
Wolf
it
laughing.
again.
I said. What did I say wrong?
She said it again.
Acrobatic.
Aerobatic.
Oh,
Well, you said it
I
right
invented a
this
new
time.
word. Yeah, acrobatic. I invented a new word. Aerobaric. There we go. New word. Leia invented a new word.
I think that's already it is. I think that
Mm,
already is one. I think that's actually sounds like a name of a culture. Actually, I think that already is one.
But she uses
Oh
that
no, I'm
to
thinking Arabic.
yeah, I get it. That all my age. Wow, I can't talk either. But she is it right? Arrow. What is it? Arrow bear. Can't talk. What is it again?
acrobatic. I
Acrobatic.
think you're
There we
thinking of
go.
aerodynamic.
Right, right. I think I'm getting the two mixed up. She uses that to take down her enemies so she can overpower them. So I can see why how she succeeds in her case. And also, let's just face it, she does use her her sex appeal. She gets them, she gets their attention. You know, she's not in that tight black suit for nothing. Dick, I think about her scene with Loki and how she came across. She had to play, you know, when Loki she's interrogating Loki. She had to sort of almost go innocent what's the word I'm looking for? She had to come. She didn't come at him too strong. She came at him. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost like a tragic victim, in order to get him to confess what he really wants to do. So she knows how to
You have to
use
play
different ways.
incompetent for
Yes,
for a good man to stroke his ego.
but also to be emotional. You know,
Yep.
when he
Yeah,
starts
she
talking to her.
literally even got scared by Loki at one point when she was literally threatened by Loki.
You
Exactly.
million quim.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But then she figures out what his plans were. So she knows how to play it. You know, so she uses the sex appeal as the weapon the best way she can use it. But if you look at the Black Widow prequel, you don't know what that is. And over the years, it seems like they're trying to strip that away from her, which is one reason why they wanted to get rid of Natasha Romanoff in the first place,
And don't even
because
get me
of the
fucking
sex
started
appeal.
with this movie's version of Taskmaster.
Oh, please, that was ridiculous. That was how stupid do they actually think that as an
They
audience that
ain't
we did not
stupid. They
know?
just want her to fight a trans man. That's all.
Or or how they treated Yelena Beluva and the Red Guardian of the Winter Guard.
Yeah, and made the Red Guardian Black Widow's father instead of her original boyfriend like she was in the comics.
You know,
Fuck you, Feige. Fuck
come
Yes.
on.
you. Marvel
Why
Studios,
why treat
Disney, Lucasfilm, fuck
And of
you.
course, they brought up the period.
Because women love talking
Oh,
about their periods
oh my
In
God.
public.
Yeah. Oh my
like
goodness.
widely in public.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like we just can't wait to yell it to the world.
using
Thor,
humor?
what's his play? What's
It's
his
their
play?
friend.
He has an army called the Chitauri. They're not of Asgard or any world known. He means to lead them against your people. They will win. They will win him the Earth. In return, I suspect for the Tesseract, an army from outer space. So he's building. So he's building another portal. That's what he needs Eric Selvig for. Selvig, he's an astrophysicist. He's a friend. Loki has under some kind of spell, along with one of ours. I want to know why Loki let us take him. He's not leading an army from here. I don't think. I don't think we should be focused on Loki. That guy's brain's a bag full of cats. You can smell crazy on him. Have you have a care you speak. Loki is beyond reason, but he is of Asgard and he's my brother. He killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted.
And that's another one who they that's why I said to you gentlemen, that's another character that they've taken away his masculinity, and that is Thor. They like I said, masculinity is nothing. That's what we all fell in love with in the first film, is the fact that I'm like finally on screen a masculine, strong
Call it,
male
Captain.
character.
All right, listen up. Until can close that portal, our priority is containment. Barton, I want you on that roof, eyes on everything. Call patterns and strays. Start. You got the perimeter. Anything gets more than three blocks out, you turn it back, or you turn it to ash. Have Want to give me a lift? Right. Better clench up, Legolas. Thor, you gotta try and bottleneck that portal. Slow him down. You got the lightning. Light the bastards up. You and me, we stay here on the ground. Keep the fight here. And Hulk, smash. Ah!
And we have Wolf give us another wonderful reading. But then again, that's the thing about sex appeal. They try to, yeah, Child of Flower, and I don't understand why. Why was he? What was wrong with that? Is I because oh they
They made
they
him.
think I guess being
They switch
fertile is a
gears so many
weakness.
times over the years. I don't know what the fuck they mean to be angry about these time around. Because at
Yeah.
first it's like they want to be angry at the fact that she can't give children. Okay, so you don't want a female representing barren women then?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
imagine how rare it is to have a female character that's barren, as opposed to the sum total. I'm gonna be generous to say thousands of barren women, or women that can't that can that either can no longer give birth or can't give birth at all.
It is for women. It is instinct to have a motherly instinct. I don't care if you've had children or not. That instinct is in you. I don't want to get preachy here, but God put that instinct in women to be maternal. Even if we do not bear our own children, but maybe with anybody else or who we're with, there's a maternal instinct. And to me, it humanized Natasha even more because if you see that scene and she goes in and she sees Clint has this wife and a wife and she has children and she almost has this look on her face like, for a minute that would be something nice to have. Every woman has this maternal instinct.
Nah, they made her auntie. She was cool.
But I think the reason they take it away from them is because they don't want you to have an emotional attachment. And see, that's the way these nuts feel about the maternal instinct. They think it's a weakness to want to have that. That's not a weakness. That's the beauty. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying women are monsters. Let's say, no, they're
Well,
not monsters.
when you get the context as to why they freaking sterilized her, was the fact that they wanted an effective weapon
Yes.
to have attachment to not have attachment and emotions. If nothing else, Atomic Blonde is what Black Widow should have been at some point in her own solo film. In fact, I would dare I say it, Atomic Blonde was damn near close to having to being a Black Widow film than the Black Widow film itself. Even though there's some things that people probably don't like about Atomic Blonde, I'm like, this is the Black Widow film we should have gotten.
Yeah, that's
Red
what I
Swan
thought.
was another one too, but Red Swan, I still have not watched that movie yet. I 9 times out of 10, I forget that movie exists. Is that because it
well,
was probably bad or anything, to say the least? All I'm saying is there are times
it's
I
not
tend
talk.
to forget that movie
It's a,
exists.
well, that's because not many people talk about it.
That too.
It's
Uh,
not a bad. Go ahead.
Well, I want to bring up since you mentioned Red Swan, the long kiss goodnight,
Mm-hmm.
like that too, like
Drinker.
that too, that
Yeah.
too. Like it was a yeah, and it's a criminally underrated action movie.
I agree.
But Gina Davis's character, Charlie, but before she began her memory, she was known as Samantha. So, and like that was not only a Black Widow movie before the MCU came to be, but also she reminded me of Silencer of DC Comics' New Age of Heroes.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I saw that video by Drinker too. I liked the Long Kiss Goodnight because this was a female heroine that wasn't what we've been talking about. There was a personality, there was a story there, and she was pretty believable because she was this assassin spy
For the
that
CIA.
amnesia. Yeah. So Gina Davis's role kind of makes sense, and I agree with you. It's an underrated film. I actually liked it when I saw it. I said that movie's pretty
Funny
good.
enough, it's an actual spy movie that actually stars Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's really what Black
Point of no
Widow
return.
should have been. Yeah, it's really what Black Widow should
Point
have
of no
been.
return.
Black
Yep,
Widow's, yeah,
that's
another
another good
one.
one.
Hmm. That's another good one itself. So that's what her origin film should have been. And another one is because the fact the writers who got a hold of it didn't understand the character. They tried to turn the character into something that, first of all, they hated the character. They don't like Natasha Romanoff for the very reasons we explained. She's feminine and she's sensual, and she uses
And
that to
now
fight. And
suddenly
they,
some bitch comes
yeah,
in and make her into what they think was best for Natasha. Putting this
right,
all
exactly.
freaking encompassing skin tight suit that covers up her breasts. Thank goodness for cosplayers for having the decency to give her a cleavage in that outfit. I've seen a lot of cosplayers wear her white outfit, but they had the decency to put a cleavage in there because these cosplayers and OnlyFans girls know what the fuck they doing. They do. I'm not. I'm praising them for knowing what the fuck they doing.
They
As far as
are.
their side profession, that's a whole different topic. But other than that, like again, like I said, another issue I noticed about that damn movie was the fact that there was a lack of guns being fired in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. But you
But
know what?
Natasha, she is an expert marksman. She was trained as an assassin to kill her targets, yes, whether in close combat or from a distance.
You are both correct. She is she you need guns in this movie. She, whether they like it or not, an assassin carries guns and weapons. She's
Yeah,
trained to
any
use all of them.
espionage agent trained for espionage, someone like Natasha Romanoff or
It is
Solid
my duty to
Snake.
not show guns because this is my answer to gun violence in America. Bitch, fuck off.
Yeah, that's what I heard
Bitch, you're
too.
in an
But
espionage mission. You're in an
No, I'm talking about
espionage.
the director's
There's gonna be
statement.
guns there. You're in the middle of war.
Well, the thing is that's what the writer has said, and the professor kept referencing a lot when it came to him talking about the MCU.
well, he's right because the director and the writers of that film didn't get the character. They're again pushing their
They didn't
personal
want to.
politics into the film. Yeah, they didn't want to personal politics. It's like you all have said here, and Final just said, an assassin has an assortment of guns, an arsenal of guns. They just do. They're weapons. They need to use them. They need to use them
Not
quickly.
only they have a wide range of guns, where they're actually placed in. They're in the middle of a war. Solid Snake, he would actually go to Shadow Moses because Foxhound, which has now gone rogue, they launched a terrorist threat to hand over the remains of Big Boss so yeah, if they don't meet their demands, they also demand billions of dollars. Don't meet those demands, they'll launch a nuke, i.e., Metal Gear Rex. Or even in wars, in the context of a war, there's going to be death everywhere, bloodstains all over the
Right.
ground,
She is a
It's just
killing
presenting a
machine.
bullet shells all over the
sanitized
ground,
look
corpses
at
all over
the
the ground. The old Call of Duty games, the old Call of Duty games and the Battlefield games represent that well because you're playing as a soldier in a war.
So the
so
writer
don't
Mhm.
forget
again.
the Grand Theft Auto games.
Or Call of Duty.
Yeah, I already mentioned some of the old school Call of Duty games, really.
You're catching up, dude. Don't worry. We know.
That that's why that movie
Or
was so
even
terrible. You had people working on it that didn't know the character or understood it. They were hired simply
Oh,
using
but they
characters for
weren't
their
there
own.
to know the character. They were there to, as we always say, write an agenda. They
Yes,
wanted they want to move to end gun violence. Gun violence is not going to end because you decided not to put guns in your fucking movie, or at
exactly.
least if nothing else, you they're pretty much they're pretty much saying we're safety we're gun safety positive because in the movie the Red Guardian got tranquilized. He didn't get shot.
Bitch, you
ah,
think
That
gun
was
violence
enough
will
to
end
kill him
with a
too.
fucking movie without using guns? What do you think this is? Communist Russia?
wait, or China, or China.
Wolf, those last those last artwork you just showed, was that inspired by Scooby Doo at the Ghoul School, or something like that? 'Cause that's what they
Hmm.
look like. Oh, that's a classic cartoon. I like that. It's right, Mary Alice. I thought they looked familiar. I think Wolf watched the Scooby Doo at Ghoul School or something. With I forgot the title of the film, but I know he was at a Ghoul School, and those are what the Ghoul girls look like.
Grimwald
Scooby Doo
girls.
and the Ghoul
Yes,
School.
Grimwood girls.
yes, the
Hmm.
Grimwald girls. Yes, yes,
Sorry, it's the Grimwood girls, not
the Grimwald.
Grimwald. Grimwood.
Oh, I considered that sort of a classic because when I was growing up, they came around in the '80s and they would run it every Halloween. But it was fun though. I liked it.
It was also during a time where Scooby and the gang encounters real supernatural phenomenon.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, and that's what made it such a fun episode. And each of the girls were like a female version of
That
famous
was an
movie
episode.
monsters. It wasn't. And I'm sorry. The movie wasn't an episode. It was a movie. Each of the girls were a female version of classic horror monsters. It didn't make her human.
Like BGC.
You keep it coming, BGC.
Christmas time is here.
Where did that come from?
I just can't wait for Christmas so this damn year will end already. That's my state of mind, day in day out. It's like when is Christmas gonna come? Cause I can't wait to fucking leave this damn year right now. This shit, look, as far as the investment I've been making in the story and trying my best to get back into drawing, I'm like, man, all the shit I'm hearing in this country right now is really getting on my damn nerves. Look, let's just get to spring where everybody is fucking relaxed now. Oh wait, that's never gonna happen, is it?
Well, before you know it, September is next week. So, Wolf, trust me, before you know it, the Christmas bells will be ringing. So you just hang in there. They're going to be
Nah, well, I'm
ringing
not looking
soon.
forward to is them find a reason to bash 9/11
Oh, I forgot
for
that's coming up.
whatever reason, because they did that shit 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And you know they're going to do it now. I forgot about that.
I'm I go onto the base every once in a while to go to the gym, and they have a 9/11 memorial. I'm and I'm just saying it ain't gonna I'm wondering how long they've been practicing trying to find reasons to bash 9/11, because I know they getting ready to, and I wonder how quickly they're gonna bash it. Are they gonna wait till the end of August, or are they gonna wait, or are they gonna do it before before the end of August? Because it's coming.
Oh, yes, it's coming. They're probably going to wait as we get close to it. Let it get around the first week of September. They'll probably start to bring it up. So it'll be coming
What's
up soon.
gonna be brought up? Sorry.
They're gonna bash on
Nah,
9/11.
Oh
they'll find
god.
find a reason to bash 9/11, despite the fact it's a day that a lot of people died.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Damn, I can't believe they got rid of the city of New York just let the 9/11 museum disappear just like that. It's closing down.
Really? Oh,
Yep.
I would have think they would let that go on. That's interesting. I thought that was going to last forever.
No, the 9/11 museum in New York no longer exists. Like all the
Well,
stuff in there is going back to the original
So
owners.
well, maybe that's all for the best. Maybe some of the if you can memorialize 9/11 at a
mm-mm,
national museum.
You can't.
mm-mm.
The
Okay.
other the memorial, at least the memorial for where that plane crashed. I forgot the name of the flight.
What about
I
it?
can't remember it.
There's a memorial where the plane crashed, the plane that never hit the Pentagon. At least that still exists. Maybe they could extend the memorial into a museum.
Like we said, you can't. Because that is important history in America.
Yes, I do agree. That's a historical
And
moment.
oh yeah, I forgot those SJ Hobos
What
want to
that's
erase the
gonna
history of America because they fucking hate America because they hate the fucking world because they
When
hate
they're gonna remove
themselves.
the names of the people who died at Pearl Harbor.
Well, and also, I mean,
They
we did
better
see.
not.
We did see. I mean, we did see their see. We do recognize the accounts of statues taken down, either like Confederates or Unions. But but the Confederate statues were taken down were being taken down in several different states.
I don't think they should have been taken down. And I know it's
No,
controversial to
No,
express his opinion
yeah,
because
Yeah,
no,
it's
what's
no, no.
gonna be
I'm a,
absolutely. It's gonna
no,
be
I'm a,
absolutely. It's gonna be so far before they're even gonna take down the Statue of fucking Liberty. Another important history of America.
they're
Yeah,
probably
for the
not
very
mhm.
reason.
because she's a
I'm
woman.
against, I'm against things being removed because they have historical value, but um, but by the same side of the token, I've just recently I saw a video of this Buddha statue that was dug up in Pakistan, and a bunch of people destroyed it. The Pakistanis that live there destroyed the statue. So I mean, there's some value to having a museum, and I know like a
Belongs
lot
in a
of people
museum.
hate on what happened.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people hate the British Museum for like taking stuff, but like when I see things like the Buddha statue, a Buddha statue that was found and destroyed in Pakistan, I think that there's actually a good reason why museums should be around.
I meant the Statue of Liberty, Marv.
Well, the point is like any statue or any statues or anything, they should not be taken down because of what view to some people within the population what view to some people within our population say about those statues or different types of monuments. I remember when I first heard these strings of of Confederate statues being taken down. I was against it because that is as a part of history, and the reason why those statues were enacted in the first place is not what people think when the Civil War was occurring during that time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, some of the Confederate statues were erected like after the Civil War, like long after.
Well, that's what well
No,
that
we're
that's
kind
what
of
I
getting
mean.
off track here.
Yeah,
But then again,
sorry.
we're in like the almost half hour mark to where we start having fun a little bit as opposed to the
Yeah.
topic. At the expense of the topic, I mean.
Well, to get back on topic, what do you guys think of fan service?
There's no there's nothing wrong with fan service. It
There's
just
never
can't
been
be
no
the
nothing
only
wrong with fan
it can't
service.
be yeah. It's just it can't the caveat is it can't be the only thing that you're selling to people. Whether it's a work of literature, video games, TV shows, movies, anything.
Yeah,
It's
because
gotta be
Professor Geek actually made a video about this specifically with Ghostbusters Afterlife,
Oh, I'm talking about
where it's
fan
basically
service
where a
and
bunch of
the.
like people would say, "Oh, fan service, so much a bunch of fan service." Yeah, but fan service is not a bad thing. When fan service is a bad thing, that is fan service without substance, so empty fan service.
Oh,
When
I
it
I'd like to
is
bring
was
up an
guys. I was talking about fan service and like the anime.
yeah,
oh
when it's
in the manga thing.
overindulgence, that's where it gets
No,
that's where it gets
in
a
the
headache
in
for
the
me.
anime context, like fan service tends to be
too far.
no, it tends to be like the vault. It tends to skirt into like the vulgar side of sex
Instead of the
appeal.
sensual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Huh.
haven't you know what? We haven't really talked about the negative effects of sex appeal either. Not necessarily the effects, but like the negative side of sex appeal.
And
When
as
you
a
don't have
class,
a character attached to the sex appeal.
yeah. So yeah, and that. that counts as one of the ways like sex appeal and fan service is done
Oh, is
wrong.
Leia gone?
Yeah,
Oh wait,
she
she
disappeared
is.
somehow.
I think she'll be. I think she'll be back.
Yeah, for me,
And
I can't watch the Seven Deadly Sins because I can't get past the first couple of episodes. Like it starts
Where
off with heavy fan
where
service.
Mio is can't even keep his hands to himself. I'm surprised I was able to get
Yeah,
through 3 seasons of all that.
and not only that, but like the female lead was like too docile. Like I, I usually expect when people are handsy, like there's gotta I expect the anime character to have a spine in her to
Well,
like at least.
She was Kishimoto times 100 from freaking Gantz, where fan service shit happens to her too damn much, and she doesn't even do shit about it. It's freaking sad when you ask
uh,
me.
and plus, if you have a couple people to reprimand Meliodas when he's getting handsy, it would be Deanne or other characters.
Yeah, but like the intro, I couldn't get into. Like I I don't know, it was just kind of off-putting because he was so docile.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But it's
And I
well,
mean, I
something
understand why guys would be into that because they like
Not me
soft.
particularly. I just know.
not
I just get the comedy
not ev-
side of it.
not every guy, Eloise.
I know, but like there are some guys that are into the docile, the
I don't like
extreme
my woman
docile and
Yeah,
docile.
soft side.
I like my woman
yeah,
to
you're talking
tell me
about
to
the
shut the fuck
simps,
up.
Eloise.
Yeah, the simps do not represent us.
Mm-mm. How about a girl who's got a brain and always speaks her mind? Nah. My manly ways and turtle phrase are sure to thrill her. He thinks he's such a lady cure.
I mean, I do like to talk about another show that actually does fan service, not like what you're already saying right now, but actually does fan service with meaning well. Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaiger. It's an absolute fan favorite Sentai.
Mm-mm.
You might know it. You might know it in the states as Power Ranger Super Mega Force. Only difference about Super Mega Force is that Go Kaiger is leagues better than Super Mega Force.
Oh yeah, Megaforce was a wasted opportunity. It surprised me.
Wait a
Surprised
minute,
me
wait a
that
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Since we gonna talk about Power Rangers, motherfuckers, who was your favorite female Power Ranger and why? Oh, y'all wanna
well,
go
Mm,
silent
well, we
now?
cer- well, we certainly walked into that one, didn't we, Final?
damn it! This talking about Super Sentai, but yet suddenly has to bring up the freaking Power Rangers now.
Look,
You should
look,
have saw that coming.
Super Sentai and Power Rangers are related to one another, even though like they are in different. I wouldn't say different leagues, but they run parallel to each other. But nonetheless, we walked into that one.
But
Y'all dragging your feet on that question now.
yeah, because thing is, I hardly ever watch Power Rangers as I ever used to anymore.
We're not friends.
But yet,
Hey,
Dang.
I just get into Sentai now.
Why are we quiet
Uh,
now?
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm just already into Sentai now because I don't watch as much Power Rangers as much now.
hey, man, you can name a female character from Sentai. Since
Yeah, name
since
all
Wolf
your
asked us,
favorites.
okay?
Come on, all your fevers, your hay fevers, your SARS, all your yellow fever, dude. Come on, let's go. Don't be ashamed.
Well, since we're in the fun segment of the stream, do you guys think that Japan will ever open up?
Open up to
I doubt
what
they probably would.
exactly?
I want to
Their
go
borders.
visit sometime. I want to go visit sometime in my lifetime, but I'll probably never be able to.
Well, they're closing their borders.
Think,
Yeah, they're going back into isolation. It's because like
oh man,
a lot of the Japanese people are elderly, because they're an aging society, and a lot of them are afraid of catching COVID from the foreigners. And mm, not only that, but they don't want to take the jab. So, and I mean, it's perfectly understandable n- not
well,
wanting to take the jab, but like
Gotta lay it back.
like I don't think like sacrificing the economy um because you're afraid of catching it.
I mean, to be fair, Japan is a pretty xenophobic country, so there you go.
Yeah,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
unfortunate.
Not everyone in Japan are xenophobic.
I mean, the country itself. It's just that Japan has already has such a strict law against foreigners. They're just so xenophobic
Yeah,
with
that's
this.
reminds me of like Japan. Like back then like Japan like allowed like people like who are foreigners who either like came from United
Cause
States
this damn
and
street
moved
named
out to
Trash
Japan
with all this
or
booty I'm showing.
or they've lived, or they were born, born in Japan. Like they allow dual citizenship until years later, like between the 80s and the 90s, where you had to sacrifice your previous citizenship since you're going to become a naturalized Japanese, even if you're not Japanese yourself.
They've been very rigid
Hmm.
in most cases, but they always tend to let up after a while. Takes maybe what, a year, 3 years, or more for them to be very.
I just predict that Japan is gonna open up their borders by the time I'm in my 30s. So
You
like,
said it like it's a bad thing.
because I want to visit in my 20s.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think
But
you
anyways,
want that. You don't want some old chap groping you in the subway.
I don't know. Maybe I want to find a
Don't care
Japanese guy.
what size you are. Oh, you better make sure he's young and not a hikikomori.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Marvelous.
What the hell
I
you
mean,
naming?
I can't I can't fault them for being weary of the world. I mean, they did get nuked into oblivion, but I mean, they bounced back. So, and not only that, but they regret the war terribly. I mean, I
And
know
also,
people make
and also,
a big
and
deal about them
also
not apologizing, but like a lot of their, um, like during that time period, the time period of rebuilding and all that, they regretted the war terribly.
as well as their part in the rape of Non-King.
Is that
Yeah, I
specific
know it's
person
not.
or a place?
What happened?
The rape of Non-King.
That's China, a region in China where they
Okay.
colonize.
Okay, finish. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the politicians and everything don't like I know Korea and China want Japan to apologize, but like China, what they're doing to at this point, China is, what they're doing in Xinjiang, the Xinjiang region. I can't pronounce it, with the Uyghurs, and what they did to the Tibetans. Like, they're currently committing those acts, and meanwhile, like, the Japanese no longer do that, and they acknowledge that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, because they have
Well,
long since like moved forward. They
Not only
moved
that,
forward,
but like the
forward from the
people
past, and
born
also they.
currently in Japan, they weren't around during World War II. So
the bullies have
Mhm.
acknowledged that they did wrong, and yet the geeks are the ones that have become the bullies. Fancy
yeah.
Mhm.
that shit.
Well, I mean,
And
it's a
as for
tale
like
as old
Korea,
as time.
as for Korea, like they're currently being slowly torn apart with like the wokeism from the West and the communism seeping in.
Which
So
Korea?
like uh South Korea is
Oh,
slowly being, yeah,
Yeah.
they're going woke. There's like a lot of corruption going on lately.
Ooh.
Like one of the presidents, one of the prime ministers had to, I don't know if it was president, I think it was a president of Korea, had to step down because of corruption involving the Clintons.
hmm.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So like
I'm not surprised
they're
by it.
slowly they're slowly being taken apart, and that's why since the politicians are turning ineffectual, they have to blame something. So they bring up Japan.
Hmm.
All the time.
Well, well, to get back. Well, I mean
Dang it,
something to take
dang it, Louis,
into
you're a Debbie
something to talk
Downer.
about. But
I'm sorry.
no positive.
Yeah, we want to
Well,
finish on
well, to get back. Well, look, we're not going to end on that. So to get back,
No shit.
get back to the topic, to answer your question, Wolf, my one of my favorite female Power Rangers is Corone,
Hmm.
formerly known as Andromeda. What?
Astronema.
The, what you thought? You thought I was going to say Kimberly?
No, I thought you were gonna say Kendricks.
From
No,
Lost Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
no. I was going to no. Let's say Corone is one of my favorites of the female Power Rangers. Besides Kimberly and Kendricks, because like you see Corone like grow as a character where she started off as one of the major villains in like the tail end of the Zordon era. She was no, she expressed some sass. She always through her actions she reminds people of how dangerous of a villain she is.
Hate to say it,
And
but she
over
wore that priest suit better than the chick who wore it at the time of Spawn.
Yeah, she did,
She didn't need no
and she also
wig to wear, but okay.
no, but interestingly, whenever she changed her hairstyle, it reflects like whatever emotion she's expressing. But
Anyway.
but the point
Mm.
but the point is, she started off as a major villain. She started off as a major villain during the tail end of the Zordon era, but then over time, she was in the path of redemption through the actions of Andros and the In Space Rangers. And after the events of Countdown to Destruction, she wants to make amends for her actions as Astronema. So when the original Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger sacrificed her life, well, it's like she was reluctant in taking her place because she's not sure if she was worthy of being a Power Ranger. However, time and again, she has shown that she is capable. She has long since moved forward from her time as Astronema and has become a great successor to her predecessor.
Anyway, as and now I was about to bring, and I brought up Power Rangers because I was about to talk about why Gokaiger has been a better show of fan service to Super Sentai and pays tribute to Super Sentai, but then someone actually just brought that up. I'm not shaming you, Wolf. It's just I just felt like I was interrupted. Anyway, but he's already gone.
What you said, and Go Kaiser, it does like fan servers better.
Right. Because I was about to bring this up on why. Because of this incident that happened in Japan when Gokaiger was happening, it was an earthquake. I forgot what it was, and that it even almost knocked over the statues of Aka Ranger and Kamen Rider Ichigo, two of them Showa Tokusatsu heroes. But yet suddenly they were actually still standing now, and because of that incident, people were scared, and the past actors of Super Sentai, wanted so badly to come back. They actually did. Even those who didn't wish to return to Super Sentai, they came back because they wanted to come back because of that incident. As Super Sentai, even Kamen Rider, means so much to a lot of people in Japan. So then we get, even with this new team of heroes of Super Sentai, which they are pirates because Kaizoku is literally means pirate. So we have a confident, powerful Red Ranger that as a leader, Captain Marvelous, and it's nothing to do with the Billy Batson Captain Marvel, but that's literally his name is just Marvelous. But now he's actually literally captain because he's the pirate captain.
No
Joe,
relation to Marvelous.
no. So then the second in command and his well-trained swordsman, Joe, and then we have this entire team of Sentai. We have a confident leader, a silent and stoic swordsman in second in command, a tomboyish, treasure-loving pirate, as most pirates do, an inventor who fights using crazy antics, and a princess that chooses to fight alongside with the pirates, and the Sixth Ranger who is such a fanboy of Super Sentai. And apparently even got his powers from the past three Six Rangers who have died at that time.
Don't cry on me, man. Big boys cry. Big boys. Big boys only show their
I don't even know
feelings
how
when.
else I would even describe it.
Yeah, basically what you're saying is how the hell Neil Saban fucked all that up in translation.
Because it was rushed. It was
I thought you
mainly
were wrong.
rushed. It was mainly rushed because they were trying to do the Super Sentai series in order. So apparently, they tried to do Samurai, even though it was so rushed. They literally copy and pasted the entire Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. But then Megaforce came in. They tried to do everything from the original Mighty Morphin because Power Rangers was celebrating its 20th anniversary at that time. Despite they tried doing Goseiger, and yet everything about it is literally Mighty Morphin, and yet nothing in comparison to Goseiger. Even Gokaiger. And yet it was so rushed. Not even the Sixth Ranger matches everything what Guy was. Guy's Gokai Silver. He's the Super Sentai fanboy. Even when they use the Sentai footage, the body language does not match between the two. Like Noah, the Blue Ranger for both Megaforce and Super Megaforce. When you show the Ghost Ranger footage, you're showing Hyde from Ghost Ranger, who's a silent and stoic sniper. Same thing with Joe, who's a silent and stoic swordsman. And then demorphs into Noah, who's basically meant to be Billy all over again. No. I mean, Jake would have been made as a perfect Red Ranger for both teams. Like, he would have been a bright and sporadic Red Ranger in the Ghost Ranger footage, but yet grows more confident in fighting. He becomes Gokai Red. And hell, Troy would have been easily for Blue Rangers on both teams. considering, especially if you know his actor, he looks like a model. Even in every scene he's in. Remember the main villain in the season 2 of the Ghost in the Shell anime, where his face is so perfect and so
Kuze.
pretty. Yeah, Kuze, he's so perfect, he hardly ever moves it. That's basically Troy. You could tell he's a model too. In every scene he's in, he's literally like that. Not even Bulk and Skull could have saved that season. Hell, Spike from Power Ranger Samurai, he could easily make Gokai Silver because that fits his counterpart so well. Because I mean, hey, he's a Power Rangers fanboy. Why not make him? Why not put him on the team?
Hmm. Ready to wrap it up?
Sure, yes. Since we already talked about everything, we already should.
Well, just like Master Dax. Who could ever forget Dax? I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those 10 of you, 11 of you, and those 8 other non-existent motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Tune in next time for whenever we do a impromptu stream. Actually, you know what? Next week we'll be talking about Trigun finally. Hope many of you guys have watched it. If you guys need me to show you the link again, I'll show you the link. At least get to 10 episodes. It is a 26 episode show, but there's a lot of episodes that you guys can dig into to watch for us to watch enough for us to discuss. So who's up for that?
I'll try to get into it.
I will do my best.
Dude, Trigon has everything you need for an aspirational hero.
Yep.
That is what we're covering, Marv.
There's a new Trigun?
Coming
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Oh god, the Netflix one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
like-
changed the hairstyle. Oh my god, it looks
It
awful.
looks like that 3D Spriggan show that I watched recently.
No, it just reminds me of manhwa hair, like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that the K-pop people use. They turned him into a K-pop star.
Yep, they did. Yes, they did. I think my compatriots, starting with the Bear of the North, Eloise Dotto.
Well, see ya, everyone. Have a good night, and see you around.
I'd like to thank the lovely Leia Valor, Leia Plus Size.
Hey everybody, this is Leah Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor, and I hope you enjoyed our show tonight. And we hope we got you. We're not telling you what to think. We're just instructing you how to think and rethink sex appeal and how it is portrayed in things that you watch and see. And okay, haha, wolf. All right, be very. all this time you talk about sex appeal, and now you want to bring it up. Okay, well, you rethink sex appeal and take another look at it. And guys, seriously, think for yourselves. Don't just don't just let
Fight the
what the
power,
media.
Leia. Fight the power.
We're talking about. No, you did that. You had that plan. You had that plan. All that yakking I was doing tonight, nothing, and now you just bring it up. And so I was talking
When
about
it comes
sex
up, you gotta
appeal.
play the song. Fight the power.
Just remember, guys, the sensual isn't the same as the vulgar.
That's right.
Two different things.
Very
and-
much too different.
And each have their place, and depending on like the series and things like that. But
I know.
like,
Eloise
At
is
least he
correct.
gets him to read.
Yes, he's
You
very
done, final?
just one thing, like Eloise said, don't be afraid of the sensual. Sensuality is something to be afraid of. Think for yourself. If anything we want to leave you with we're having fun up here, but think for yourself. Don't become a zombie to what the media. If you know something is stirring in the Kool-Aid, it's not good. So if you're watching a show like She-Hulk and you know the story is garbage and they're not giving you what you want, turn it off and go to something else. Find something else to do. Don't give these people
give the indies a shot. There's plenty of good things out there that people have yet to discover that's just waiting to be discovered. Like, scroll through Amazon. Just make sure to filter out
Oh
depending on your
shit! I was wearing a
preferences,
Green Lantern the Green Lantern shirt.
and you'll find something. There's something out there for everyone that'll appeal to what you're into. So give the indies a shot.
And on that
Or
note,
go
I
back to
bid
the
you all
classics.
good night and have a great weekend till we see you again.
What's funny? I don't get it.
He started
Final.
talking. I can't hear him. I don't know what he said, but he said something.
Sorry, Final, you're muted.
You're muted, Final, unless he still thinks you're showing pictures.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for you. I was waiting for you to finish. I was like, told you this guy had something in plan. You knew it was coming though. You
I'm
knew
a
it
Yeah,
was coming.
man
Don't
with
be
the
lying.
plan.
Don't be lying.
Man,
Don't
the
be
man,
lying.
the man, the man, the man.
Told you it
You're
was
right.
coming. You know the
Yes.
title. You knew this already.
You're right, Final. It had to come when I was saying my goodbye. I thought it was going to come when I was talking about masculinity and sensuality. It's beautiful. I was even pausing, like, okay, I know Wolf's going to put something here any second now. No? Okay, well, I'll continue. You wait to the last minute when I say my good nights
You
to
just gotta
everyone.
be prepared whenever he would do something like this.
I know it was coming.
There's no stopping the wolf.
Because it said sex appeal. So I said, I know there's going to be pictures everywhere. So I kept pausing, like, okay, no, all right, I will continue. All right, I thought something was going to come in there. At the end.
Anyways, we have the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in tonight's live stream. As Leah mentioned earlier, we're not telling you what to think or what. Not we're telling you what to think or how to like go about your day. No, we're just telling you all what we're just telling you what sex appeal like it is, and not what the media is feeding you. Make up your own minds and don't become the very thing that you hate, whether it's coming from the far left or the far right. Make up your own mind and decide for on how are you gonna approach things after you got the facts from all sides. So, so anyway, if you like us to discuss any more topics in the future, make sure you put it down in the comment section down below, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Wolf 10 Media's YouTube channel. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, signing off. Hope you all have a good rest of your summer, and remember to not lose hope and optimism even as things get dark. Everything will get better in the future.
Yes, very well said.
The Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to Wolf 10 Me if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off. And remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
It's going to be welcome at Wolf 10. Remind you guys once again that Eloise has shared me a Twitter post from this man named Josh Barrow. And he sums up what we've been saying all these years so far since this woke nonsense started to crop up. He says, I think we're seeing this in all sorts of areas, encouraging people to marinate in their pains and traumas and treat them as central to their identities. It is only making people more miserable. And treating self help advice as victim blaming amounts to encouraging despair.
Do not give in to the despair. You know,
Don't give in to cynicism and nihilism.
yeah.
Do
I'm
not give into.
starting.
Yeah,
One of my favorite video games is Danganronpa, and one of the central themes to it is to fight despair.
or just
And one of the
go
things that it highlights is that despair drives people to do heinous things. Like it. So, no matter
just go to
what, don't give in.
or go to the positive activist route. Or go the positive activist route like Batman does. Turn your pain into something positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also Also, maintain your empathy and express it to others, even those who you either may disagree with or you don't like. Don't shut off your heart.
Don't give in to
Don't,
despair. Don't let it win.
don't let despair. They're all right. Don't give in to despair. That's how evil comes in the door, and that's how you easily can be brainwashed and led by the weak, and you don't want that. Build up from the despair. Fight it. You
At the
can do
end of a
that.
dream, even chaos tears itself apart.
You know what? That being said, this is your welcome in Wolf 10. Remind you guys, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
And I, oh,